Hi, everybody, and welcome back for another chapter of Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj's I Am That. And today we will be looking at chapter 73, Death of the Mind is Birth of Wisdom. Death of the mind is birth of wisdom. Death of the knowledge is the birth of the wisdom. So we have knowledge in the mind, but we have wisdom in the heart. So once you stop investigating the mind and going down into the heart, that is where all the wisdom is born. The heart is the birthplace and the origin of wisdom. Before one can realize one's true nature, need not one be a person? Does not the ego have its value? The person is of little use. It is deeply involved in its own affairs and is completely ignorant of its true being. Unless the witnessing consciousness begins to play on the person and it becomes the object of observation rather than the subject, realization is not feasible. It is the witness that makes realization desirable and attainable. It is the witness, the awareness, that makes realization desirable and attainable. There comes a point in a person's life when it becomes the witness. Oh no. The person by itself will not become the witness. It is like expecting a cold candle to start burning in the course of time. The person can stay in the darkness of ignorance forever unless the flame of awareness touches it. Who lights the candle? The Guru, his words, his presence. In India, it is very often the mantra. Once the candle is lighted, the flame will consume the candle. Why is the mantra so effective? Constant repetition of the mantra, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, is something the person does not do for one's own sake. The beneficiary is not the person, just like the candle which does not increase by burning. Can the person become aware of itself by itself? Yes. It happens sometimes as a result of much suffering. The Guru wants to save you the endless pain. Such is the Guru's grace. Even when there is no discoverable outer Guru, there is always the Sadguru, the inner Guru, who directs and helps from within the heart. The words outer and inner are relative to the body only. In reality, all is one. In reality, all is one. The outer being merely a projection of the inner. Awareness comes as if from a higher dimension. Awareness comes as if from a higher dimension. In reality, all is one. Before the spark is lit and after, what is the difference? Before the spark is lit, there is no witness to perceive the difference. The person may be conscious, but is not aware of being conscious. The person may be conscious, but not aware of being conscious. It is completely identified with what it thinks and feels and experiences. The darkness that is in it is of its own creation. When the darkness is questioned, it dissolves. The desire to question is planted by the Guru. In other words, the difference between the person and the witness is as between not knowing and knowing one's self. The world seen in consciousness is to be of the nature of consciousness. When there is harmony, sattva, but when activity and passivity, rajas and tamas, appear, they obscure and distort, and you see the false as real. What can the person do to prepare itself for the coming of the Guru? The very desire to be ready means that the Guru had come and the flame is lighted. It may be a stray word or a page in a book. The Guru's grace works mysteriously. It may be a word, a page in a book. It could be anything. When you are ready, it is ignited. The Guru's grace works mysteriously. Is there no such thing as self-preparation? We hear so much about yoga sadhana. It is not the person that is doing sadhana or spiritual practice. The person is in unrest and resistance to the very end. It is the witness that works on the person, on the totality of its illusions, past, present, and future. How could we know that what you say is true? While it is self-contained and free from inner contradictions, how can we know that it is not a product of fertile imagination, nurtured and enriched by constant repetition? The proof of the truth lies in its effect on the listener. Words can have a most powerful effect. By hearing or repeating words, one can experience various kinds of trances. The listener's experiences may be induced and cannot be considered as proof. The effect need not necessarily be an experience. It can be a change in character, in motivation, in relationship to people and oneself. Trances and visions induced by words or drugs or any other sensory or mental means are temporary and inconclusive. The truth of what is said here is immovable and everlasting. Immovable and everlasting. And the proof of it is in the listener, in the deep and permanent changes in his entire being. It is not something he can doubt, unless he doubts his own existence, which is unthinkable. When my experience becomes your own experience also, what better proof do you want? The experiencer is the proof of his experience. Quite. But the experiencer needs no proof. I am, and I know that I am. I am, and I know that I am. I am conscious, and I am aware of being conscious. I am aware of being aware. I am aware of being aware. I am aware of being. You cannot ask for further proof. Can there be true knowledge of things? Relatively, yes. Absolutely, there are no things. To know that nothing is true knowledge. To know that nothing is true knowledge and true wisdom. Nothing is. This is nothing. Nothing appearing as everything. This is emptiness appearing as fullness. This is formlessness appearing as form. It's simply an appearance. Nothing is. Nothing is. What is the link between the relative and the absolute? They are identical. They are identical. Relative, absolute, sounds like duality, sounds like two, but Advaita means not two. Ultimately, all there is this. Nothing appearing as everything, two sides of the same coin. The absolute appearing as the relative, but the relative is the absolute. They are identical. Advaita, not two. Advaita, not two. All there is this. Pure being. Being beyond consciousness and awareness. Being beyond being and non-being. The pure being. The empty void. The Parabrahman. The absolute supreme reality. One without a second. And of course, you are that. You must be the source from which all life emanates and flows. From which point of view are they identical? When the words are spoken, there is silence. When the relative is over, the absolute remains. So silence and stillness always are. Silence is. Words are spoken, words. The words finish, and guess what? The silence and the stillness remain. Awareness remains. Awareness is always and already. When the relative is over, the absolute remains. The absolute is now. Now. The absolute is the context for the now. It is the now, and you are that. When the building collapses, the space remains. I love that one. When the building collapses, the space remains. The space is before, during, and after. The space is eternal and everlasting, birthless and deathless, changeless. And you are that. You are that. Allow the mind to stop. Stop chasing, stop struggling, stop looking, and just rest in the heart of awareness as awareness itself, as the absolute. Allow yourself to relax and rest as the absolute. Nothing perceivable or conceivable. Nothing physical or mental. Space. Empty, vast, spacious awareness. Spacious being. I am that I am. The silence before the words were spoken, is it different from the silence that comes after? The silence is one, and without it the words could not have been heard. It is always there at the back of the words. Shift your attention from words to silence, and you will hear it. Simply shift your attention from the mind to the heart, from the words to the silence, from the doing to the being, from the movement to the stillness. Just shift. shift attention, shift awareness, silence, silence, stillness, silence. Love, peace. Listen to the silence. You are the silence. The more you listen to the silence, the more you will realize it is your essential nature. It is always present because it's you, and you cannot leave your true self. You are what you are. You are the silence. You are the stillness. You are the awareness. You are being, pure being, vast being, egoless being, the void where no identification is happening, no entity inside, no person, no ego, no separation. Not to. Advaita, not to. The mind craves for experience. It wants to experience pain, pleasure, pain, pleasure, pain, pleasure. The mind finds itself interesting and entertaining, and it wants an experience, the memory of which it takes for knowledge. I experienced this, says the mind, and now I know what is real. But the Jnani is beyond all experience. The Jnani is beyond all experience, and his memory is empty of the past. His memory is empty of the past. The Jnani, the Guru, is entirely unrelated to anything in particular. There's nothing he can point at and say, this I am. Not I am this, not I am that. Simply pure I am. Prior to the words I am. Pure consciousness, pure being, pure awareness. Nothing in particular. No identification with form, with anything. Nothing perceivable or conceivable. But the mind craves for formulations and definitions. Formulations. How do I do it? How do I get what I crave? Desires and fears. How do I get what I desire? How do I stay away from that which I fear? And definitions. The mind loves concepts. It eats concepts. It consumes concepts. The mind itself is a concept. The mind is always eager to squeeze reality into a verbal shape. This is reality, but the word can never be the thing. Of everything it wants an idea. For without ideas, the mind is not. This is why the mind is always thinking. If it stops thinking, guess what? No more mind. Then silence, emptiness. And this scares the mind because the mind The ego, the person, does not want to stop. It doesn't want to die. This is why it's always thinking about the future. I will get this, I will get that, I want this, I want that. The mind wants to continue. Reality is essentially alone, but the mind will not leave it alone and deals instead with the unreal. And yet, it is all the mind can do. Discover the unreal as unreal. And seeing the real as real, there is no such thing, there is no such state as seeing the real. The real is not an object to be seen. And the real is that which is looking, the awareness. It's empty. Who is to see what? Who is to see what? You can only be the real, which you are and have been and forever will be anyhow. The problem is only mental. Abandon false ideas. Abandon that which is not true. That is all. There is no need of true ideas. There aren't any. Simply abandon the false. Is 2 + 2 5? No. Abandon that which is untrue. Am I the body? Ultimately, no. Am I the mind? No. Abandon these ideas. Am I a small, limited person, contracted energy? No. You have never been a person. You have never been a separate person, no matter how real it seems to have been. That is the illusion. That is the dream that reality is waking up and out of. The mind must have a purpose to encourage it to free itself from the unreal. It is promised something in return. In reality, there is no need of purpose. Being free from the false is good in itself. It wants no reward. It is just like being clean, which is its own reward. I love being clean. Being clean, being free, being truth. That is its own reward. Is not self-knowledge the reward? The reward of self-knowledge is freedom from the personal self. The reward of true self-knowledge, not the conceptual self, but the actual Atma, Paramatma, Paramatman. This knowledge or realization of the true self is freedom from the personal self, freedom from the imaginary conceptual self. You cannot know the knower, for you are the knower. The fact of knowing proves the knower. I know this. You need no other proof. The knower of the known is not knowable. Just like the light is known in colors only, so is the knower known in knowledge only. Is the knower an inference only? You know your body, mind, and feelings. Are you an inference only? I am an inference to others, but not to myself. So am I. An inference to you, but not to myself. I know myself by being myself. I know myself by being myself. I know myself by being myself. As you know yourself to be a man by being one, you do not keep on reminding yourself that you are a man. It is only when your humanity is questioned that you assert it. Similarly, I know that I am all. I know that I am all. I do not need to keep on repeating, I am all. I am all. Only when you take me to be a particular, a person, I protest. As you are a man all the time, so I am what I am all the time. Whatever you are changelessly, that you are beyond all doubt. Whatever you are changelessly, that you are beyond all doubt. What is in you? What is it about you that does not change? Does presence change? Are you? Do you exist? Is there aliveness present within the body? Is there consciousness? Is there intelligence and creativity? Is life happening? Yes. Is there awareness? Is there consciousness? Is there awareness of being conscious? Are you aware that you are aware? Are you aware of being aware? Does the silence in the background ever go? Does the stillness ever move? These are aspects, if you will, of your true eternal nature. Changeless, birthless, silent, still, affectionate awareness. I am pure being. Pure being. All there is this. Pure being. Nothing appearing as everything. The absolute supreme reality appearing as the relative. Advaita, not two, not two, not two. What is? What is? Look, verify for yourself. What is always present? What is always aware? Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Sachidananda Murtaye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Sachidananda Murtaye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchidananda Murtaye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Peace. peace, peace. Awareness is aware. Awareness is present. Awareness is aware. Formless, nameless, shapeless, affectionate awareness is always and already aware. I am aware. I am awareness. I am freedom itself. Thank you, Nisargadatta. Thank you, everybody. See you again. Om.